Hi there, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. My name is Melanie. If you watched a recent video, you know I went through all my base pages and I said I need to start using them up, right? That was going to be my focus. And I was also cleaning up other areas and I came across a stack of printed photos, miscellaneous all over the place. Some of them I had notes on and some of them I don't remember where they're from, so it's going to take a little bit of research on my part to find the dates and stuff. But what I did was I took those photos and I took the base pages and I paired them up. And so because I just went through all the base pages, I'm not going to show you how I selected them, but I do want to show you what I paired with what before I get started so that you can then see how they end up. And I've got a good stack here. Woo! Got a good stack. So I think this will be a good start. And yeah, so let's go through what I paired up. So this particular photo is of my sister. She's a bit camera shy, and I think that's probably going to be the story I'm going to tell. I like the black with the colors of the paper. I think that looks really, really quite striking. This flamingo doesn't really fit, to be honest, but it's going to need some sort of embellishment, so I can easily add another flower piece or maybe a circle, like to make a cluster base or something on there, and I think that'll work just fine. Okay, so this is how this layout turned out. I am really happy with it. I found a large camera to cover that flamingo and a smaller one to kind of tie the two in. I added some hearts in red, pulling out from the pattern paper. The title just is one of a kind, and I added a little bit of journaling. And I think this one is done. This was from a class that I took, and I have a picture of my sister-in-law, and I just like the blue with all of the colors, like the blue in her shirt with all of the colors on the layout, so I think that one will work. This was a super easy layout. I just added the photo of my sister-in-law, added the date, and then just did a little bit of journaling about what she means in my life. Yeah, so easy peasy. And for this one, I had this picture of my niece. It was a 3x3 photo, but I think I can sneak this in because of the way this is situated. I think it'll work okay. I think the colors work okay. They're not a perfect match, but I think they are close enough that they will work. Now, it does say special day down here. I think a special day can apply for anything. In this case, this was done at Christmas. It's not a Christmas layout, but I think, you know, I can somehow tie that into my journaling. I did manage to make this one work. I just tucked the extra little bit from the photo behind the layering pieces and added the title, "Look at Those Cheeks," because I mean, look at those cheeks. And that's really all I had to say. I didn't have any particular journaling or anything like that. I just noticed that I forgot to put her name on it, so I will make sure to do that. Okay, so for this one, I had this photo. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this photo is going to fit exactly in here. I think it should. If it doesn't, I can always reprint a similar photo. And I paired it with this one because of the top that I'm wearing and the colors of these flowers. I think that will work quite well. This was another super easy layout that I didn't, feel the need to add anything other than the photo, actually, in this case. So there is a photo of me. I had to trim it down quite a bit to fit in the oval shape, but it worked. And I added a date, and that was probably the easiest layout in the bunch. So for this one here, I have a picture of my grandmother that I'm going to trim down to fit within this photo. And I actually lived with my grandmother for a few years, and so I thought, that I know this will be a core memory, and our story is my favorite, and I thought I could write a little bit about that and why that happened, how that happened, and how much I treasured that time with her. Speaking of another easy one, I did add that photo of my grandmother. I added some journaling just talking about how I came to live with her for a period of time, and then just the date of when the photo was taken. For this one, I thought I would pair this picture here. This was taken when I was in Colombia. Yeah, I think it was Colombia. And I liked the colors. I thought they kind of went okay. Now, this is designed for like roughly a 3x4 horizontal, and this is clearly not that, but I think that I can make this work in some sort of manner, and maybe just find some scraps to cover up whatever shows up, and it'll just look like another layered piece. That's my thinking on making that one work.
So if you remember, this one had a mat for a photo going landscape. So I pulled this green paper from my stash, just from some scraps, and then I matted this photo in black going this way, and then I pulled some embellishments from my stash. These are from Cocoa Vanilla, and I think the flowers might be from, oh, they're one of those cut apart sheets, like from Minte or something like that. I like that. I like how it turned out.
You all know how much I liked this layout, and I had this picture of my mom. She's wearing this green shirt, and I thought that worked really well with this. It says take a walk. I'm not sure that necessarily fits this particular photo and what was going on, but I can either cover that up or try and peel it off and put something else in its place.
This one here, all I did was pull up that take a hike. I was able to remove it without damaging the paper, and then I just added, you know, that this was my mom and the date that the photo was taken. And really that's all I needed to do. The rest of the, you know, words on the page did the talking for me.
Okay, so for this one I was pairing a picture of me with my mom. Obviously this is quite a few years ago. And I think this will just work quite well as well. Between the pink on my shirt and the green of hers, I think that works okay. I will trim this down so that it fits within the mat. And yeah, this was actually taken on Mother's Day, so it's kind of, you know, I might talk about that a little bit in my journaling. I do love these pages where they're all embellished because they do go super quick. Now this one here, this particular piece, guess I hadn't noticed it, or maybe I had when I added it, and I figured, oh, I'll just fix it when it comes in. It was kind of cut a little bit crooked, so I found a puffy sticker. I just said, love this with all my heart. I just pulled that from my die cut sticker binders. I did some journaling about celebrating my mom. This was done on Mother's Day, and this one is also done. Okay, so this one here, it says something, well, it says every photo tells a story, and then sometimes you don't know the value moment until it becomes a memory. So it's not that this is such a memorable moment, but I thought it would be interesting for my nephew's history to talk about his fascination with a vacuum cleaner. And it was so much so that they actually bought him his own vacuum. It was cheaper than a toy one, my brother said. So I do want to document that. He is wearing a red top, which I thought kind of went well with the color scheme on this one.
So I mentioned that this story was all about my nephew and his vacuum cleaner. So I did title that A Boy and His Vacuum. I think this was from, a Pink Fresh alpha sticker maybe. I added some of these teal hearts, and this here is actually from a crafting collection from Simple Stories, and then I just did some journaling about, you know, why he has this vacuum cleaner and his current obsession with it.
So this is another one where I'm going to modify it slightly to fit this photo. Now this photo is a 4x6, and I had a mat for a 5x5, but there's nothing that says you can't just layer it over top and let that just be a layering item. I went with this one primarily because of the yellows in it, and this is kind of a funny story to document, but basically I got a new popcorn maker, and you might think, like, what's the big deal about it? Well, this particular popcorn maker that I had was probably my first purchase when I moved out into my very first apartment. And it was under $20, I remember that much. And I ate a lot of popcorn back in those days, and I still enjoy popcorn. So to say that it lasted as long as it did, you know, is pretty amazing. It survived and moved to a different country. And yeah, it just was a momentous kind of occasion in a weird kind of way. I don't know. Maybe I'm silly for documenting it, but yeah.
So this particular layout, I swapped the design around. When I was showing you earlier, I had it situated this way, but I decided to go this way instead. And this allowed me to layer over top of that original matting sheet, and then it left me enough space to document a little bit about you know, how long this has been in my life. And Good to the Last Pop was a title that some of you suggested in a Crafty session a while ago. Yes, I have been working on this video for a bit. And then the little popcorns and the little box of popcorns, that was from a Concord and Ninth die that we had received as like a cabin gift from one of their classes. And I think that was really all I did, was just added the title and the popcorn. Oh, I did add the washi as well, because I just felt like the little popcorn containers needed a landing place.
I had this photo of my nephew in, I think this is like a one of those like parachutes. And I like, well, what you immediately notice is the blue and the green. So when I saw this layout here with kind of the turquoise and the green background, I thought that would work great. Again, it's a 5x5 photo, but I mean, it's a 5x5 mat, but there's nothing that says, again, that we can't modify this. Something like that. And I think that still would work quite well. So for this one, I did add a few extra layers just to make this photo work. So you'll remember that there was a mat here, and I just added this kind of red colored mat with this texture. It's got like polka dots on it, and then the photo of my nephew. And so you can't even tell that original, you know, square mat was behind there. I found these stickers in my stash that are red with a little bit of white in the middle. I think those might be jelly bean soup, and it's just a little boy having fun. I do need to add the date on this one. It wasn't really good when I printed these photos about writing the information on them, so a few of these I'm going to have to go back and find that information. And then I just pulled some embellishments, random ones from my stash to do the little, you know, triangle. Yeah, really just focusing, I think, on the moment, you know. Look at his eyes. He looks like he's having so much fun. And that's really what I wanted to focus on, was in the moment. Okay, so this is one of those pink fresh, let your heart decide, I think that's what it's called, layouts that I wanted to use. I don't have both of them in here, but getting one step closer. So I have a picture of my sister and her family, and they're all eating ice cream, and I thought it worked with this paper, primarily because there's the word treat in here a couple times, and the word enjoy, and, you know, talk, capture. I think that just kind of fits, you know, their summer vibe. I had sent them some money to buy a summer treat, and that's what this commemorates.
Okay, so this one was another one where the mat was significantly bigger than the photo that I had, so I just pulled some basic cardstock from my stash to kind of make that a little bit bigger. I centered this off so this looks deliberate, and I use that as an opportunity to kind of add some, or to anchor some embellishments. This was a perfect day top story. And then I had these little ice cream puffy stickers that were so cute. I thought they worked really great for here. I think those were also from a Pink Fresh collection, if not this one. Yeah, it is from this one. So perfect. It just worked out perfect.
Okay, so this one is designed for a 5x7 photo, but I have a 4x6. Again, nothing that says that you can't have a larger mat. I probably will double mat this, meaning I will probably find another color that's in the background to mat this photo so that it has a break between the printed photo mat, or the printed photo border, and the bigger one. And this color that he's wearing as his bandana is similar to the bluey greens in here. There's not really a red, but I think with the pink and stuff like that, it still works.
I can see I was really bad on the journaling. I'm going to have to go back on all of these and add some more information. So this one here, this was a mat for 5x7. I found a piece of cardstock to just kind of multi-mat it to make it work. And I don't really have anything specific to say about this photo other than you know, just my nephew and it's cute. So I do have to find the date for this and add his name and date.
Now this one it runs a little girly, but I love the saying where it says choose joy and be a part of the beauty of this world. And I have this picture of my nephew just, you know, enjoying the outdoors. And he has quite a bit of blue in his outfit, well, between the rock and his hat, which I think plays off of this.
This was another one that I really didn't do anything extra to it. I just added the photo, and that was pretty much it. There is a little spot here to add his name and date, so I'm going to do that here before this gets filed into a album.
Okay, so I have 3 of these outdoor photos from my nephew that I thought would work really great with this layout. I like the green aspect of it, and the little bird with being outdoors and stuff, I think just really plays off of that. And I don't know if I will leave the white photo mats on or not. I think it's just going to depend on how this aligns.
I opted to trim off the white borders from these photos. It just, the spacing looked a little bit weird when I had them all lined up. And they had this white band here anyways, so it still looks like they're matted. Yeah, works out great. Didn't have to do any other changes. I will add his name and date once I figure that out.
So this one here is supposed to have 2 photos, one that's basically 4x6 and a 2x2. So I only have 1 photo. It's my nephew. He is wearing this kind of mustardy yellow, which is similar to this mustardy green color in here. And the dark color, I think, plays off some of the grays in here. So I thought that might be kind of a good fit if I add that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this 2x2 photo yet, but I'm going to have a look through my embellishments and maybe there's something else I can add to this mix.
For this one, again, added the photo. I had space for another photo, so what I did was I actually found some embellishments that kind of went with this monochromatic look. I think that worked out just great, kind of mimics some of the other layering that's going on there, and then added some journaling, and that's pretty much done. I have a date on this one, so this one actually is finished.
So more photos of this nephew. This time I'm pairing it with this layout. Again, outdoorsy. This kind of has that green and flowers outdoor kind of feeling. Now, this was designed for 4x6 photos originally, horizontal, but I have 2 4x6. So I think what I'm going to do is something like this. Maybe this will get tucked over on this side and I'll find a strip or something to add as a border on that side. Now this says happy together. I will cover up the together part because it doesn't really fit these photos. So if you remember with this one, I had a couple of issues. One was it was kind of more designed for 3 horizontal photos, and I didn't like the word together on here, so I did stack these vertically. I pulled out some washi tape in black because there is some black in the elements, and then I used the leftover little bit to add the title, and I just pulled that kind of from this blue that's in the embellishments. And then over the together, I found a puppy sticker that says fun, 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 so it's like happy, fun, fun, fun. And yeah, I think that's pretty cute. I do need to add his name and date. Okay, so this one here is another layout that features a 5x7 photo, and I actually did have a 5x7 photo in that stack. And I really like the colors with this one. I think that works quite well. I don't have a big story to tell about this, but there's not a lot of spot for journaling, so I think it's a perfect fit. Oh, I love how this one turned out. Again, this was another one that was pretty much all set up. I just needed to add the photo. I did add a little bit of journaling. I do have his name in here. I do not have the date. Oh boy, you guys. This is where make sure you note everything down because trying to go back and find these photos is kind of a pain. But anyways, it is what it is. Okay, for this next one, this is another one that I'm going to modify. It was meant to be a 4x6 horizontal. Now, I could switch it this way, only this pattern piece of paper with the hearts just looks a little bit weird. So rather than do that, I'm going to keep it this way. I have a picture of 2 of my nieces. They're dressed up as the characters, I don't know if you can see that, from this book. It was storybook day at school, and so they dressed up as those two characters with that book. This is by Ree Drummond, who's the what's her name now? I can't remember what she goes by. She has a TV series with cooking. You guys are all screaming at me. I'll put it up here on the screen when I edit what the show is, or what her cooking channel is. Again, I'm just going to use this as a layering piece and probably do something like that, and then use this for journaling or maybe some sort of embellishment cluster.
I did not turn this one around. I left it horizontal. And basically what I ended up doing with the mat is the leftover bit here ended up being a perfect spot for some journaling. I used some Paige Evans stickers. I found like a backpack and some books that just kind of tied into the school theme that was going on. And then I had these turquoise stickers. I think this one turned out super cute. Even though it was kind of intended more for Valentine's, I think it still works.
For this quilted looking layout, I have two odd shaped photos of my nephew. He's all dressed up. I think this was taken after church on a Sunday. He's got a little bow tie in. I pilfered these off of Facebook, so the size is what the size is, right? But it has the purple irises, and I thought that might be kind of a good fit for this one. And I'm thinking maybe something like that. I think that could work. I could flip it the other way, which might even be better. I could do something like that. And then the title, I'm actually kind of liking that a little bit better. Okay, so that's that one.
Oh my goodness, you guys, I love how this one turned out. I did end up going with the photos at the bottom, which left enough room for a title. I found these freckled fawn sticker buttons in purple, and I thought that really just tied in with kind of the quilting theme, and then I just found some other purple embellishments to tie this one all together.
Okay, we've got this pink striped, and I've got two 3x4 photos of my niece. And I'm thinking really basic. It's just going to be something like that.
This is another one where I changed it from my original thought. Originally I was going to go this way with the photos in here. And this just goes to show you that even if you've got intentions for photos, it doesn't have to end up that way. And I added the photos at the top, and then I just pulled a bunch of different embellishments using the color scheme from the paper to drive what those embellishments were. And I had this leftover sentiment or card, I guess, from another scrapbook class, and I just thought it was cute. So that was kind of this jumping off point. And then, you know, the You're Sweet with the strawberries. There were strawberries in here. You know, I repeated the camera a couple times to tie things in. For this layout, it has a 6x6 square, but I'm not really treating that as a full-on mat. I have a 5x7 photo of another niece of mine. And I just thought that would work really great as a mat. I could go this way as well. That's the other option, you know, but I think I kind of like this better. And this is just a general photo, I think, about things that I wish for her. And I think these little banners on the side work perfectly. This was another layout where I let the embellishments do the talking. And I just added a title here, My Wish for You. And I did exactly what I said, was added the photo on top of the mat. It's not a perfect mat because this is a square and this is a rectangle, but I think that's okay. And then all of these sentiments just, you know, fit.
Okay, so the next one is a 2-page spread. And I'm not sure if this is going to work. If it doesn't work, I'm going to flip it to a 2-page, right? So this one has a fall feel to it, and I have these photos of my nephew again. So I'm thinking easy peasy, these two will go here. But I did need a photo up here, and I had this third photo. Now this is actually a little bit too big for this spot, but I could get away with it. It does go into the border a little bit, which I'm not mad at. I might maybe move this down a little bit more like that to counter it. Or the other option is there's a little bit of space at the top where I could trim that off, but I would lose the white border. But I can always add that with another white border. So I think that'll work. He's wearing a lot of blue and he's got the yellow collar, so I think that just kind of ties in. Now, this sentiment here where it says a little me time, kind of funny for, what is he, like a 3.5-year-old? So I will probably come up with something else to put on there. That's the plan.
I ended up with a couple double page spreads, not very many of them. This one I did do exactly as I said. I ended up moving these photos down and this photo up to kind of balance each other, and I think that works out pretty good. I found a new saying here. It just says it's going to be a fabulous day. I thought that fit a little better, and I just layered it right over top. Is it perfect? You know, no, but does it still look okay? I think so. And then over on here, I did some journaling about these photos, and I noticed that I forgot to put a date and a year.
I am going to sneak a winter photo in here. So this one has a lot of like snowflakes and stuff like that, intended for a 4x6. I have a picture of my nephew building a fire and outside in the winter, and I think that one is going to look really great with this layout.
I think this is my only winter layout, and I love how this one turned out. I'm always amazed how when I do these base pages that somehow photos manage to find them and they just seem to work out. I mean, like even in his jacket is the little bit of the green that's in these pictures. Like, anyways, it's just interesting. So the title on this one is Playing Hooky. Basically, my nephew skipped school with his mother's approval. And you know what? Sometimes you just need to stay home, right? I think we have that even as adults. Sometimes you just need a day to stay home and chill.
So for this one here, I have a photo of my sister's boys. I love this photo. I think it's absolutely adorable. So I think this will work. Again, this was intended to be a 5x7 photo. Could I go and reprint this and make it bigger? Yeah, I could. But I think I'm going to do what I'm going to do with the other one is just add a blue mat around it to fill this out a little bit more and just leave it as is. So for this one, I did mat the photo because, again, it was a 5x7 mat. I pulled some embellishments with the colors from the background, added some more embellishments down here. I do have a date and year. I mean, I do have the names and the year, so look at that. I'm not completely out of touch. Okay, so for this photo, or for this layout, I thought I would pair that with a picture of my brother and his family. I like the colors in here with the colors. There's some blue and turquoise and purple, so I think that works really well. It's also taken outdoors. The butterflies kind of fit that theme, and I think that'll just tuck in just great. And then I just have to add a title and a little bit of journaling.
This was another one that was super easy to complete. Just added the photo, added the title, Love This Family. I did add the names on the back just for preservation, I guess, so that we can know who these people are in the future. But I didn't really feel like putting a whole bunch of names on the front. I just didn't think that would be as aesthetically pleasing.
So I did find a photo to use for this layout. I have a picture of my nephew at a campground, so I thought that kind of fit with the outdoorsy theme. It is a 5x7 photo. I wouldn't say that the colors match, like I didn't pick it because of its matching, although the green ties in with the green at the bottom. It was more a matter of that he's wearing fairly neutral colors, and I just really wanted to use this paper, or this base page. This turned out so adorable. I actually tucked the photo in amongst the fringed kind of grass just to kind of make it look, or so that you notice that it was fringy. I found this title sticker. I think this was from a Paige Evans in kind of a rainbow look, which kind of played off the rainbow background. Wonderful You. Added a little bit of journaling at the bottom, and this one is done. Okay, let's talk about this crafting one. So I have a bunch of photos here. I don't remember why I took these, to be honest. I'm going to have to go back and find what the logic for this was. I don't think I've documented these, but I have pictures of me crafting. I have pictures of me, well, I have this is a video of mine where my nephews and nieces are watching my YouTube video. And then this is pictures of them holding up the Valentine's cards that I sent them. I've got pictures of all my albums. This was a picture of a kit that I sent my nieces and a card that they made with the kit. And this was at a scrapbook event, and I don't know why I took a picture of these bins. So they all kind of have a crafting bent to them, so I thought I could make that work with this base page. Again, I'm going to need to do a little research as to what's going on with these.
So this was the one that was a hodgepodge of Crafty themed photos, and I opted to just focus on the ones from, you know, crafting with my nieces. And I reprinted a few of these photos just to make them a little bit bigger. I pulled out a Simple Stories Crafty line and used the stickers for embellishments. This is an old, I want to say Amy Tan. I could be wrong on that. Sticker or title. And the pictures are a little bit dark, but they are what they are. And basically there was a period of time where I was sending my nieces supplies to make cards. And yeah, that was fun. Haven't really picked it up. And I don't know that they're still interested. Okay, this one's going to seem a little bit funny. I'm going to take a 5x7 photo and trim it down to, what is this, like almost a 4x5 mat. I think I can make it work. I'm hoping so. It looks like I would be able to. This does lend itself to be slightly feminine with the florals, but I don't really care. I like that there's the yellows and the greens in here that tie in with his photo of my nephew climbing a tree. And really, I love the sentiments, priceless memories, and you make my heart happy. So I did trim down that 5x7 photo, made it fit. I did not put a name and a date on here, so we are going to have to do that still. Okay, so this one here, I have two photos of my brother and sister-in-law, and I think they were taken at the same time because they're wearing the same outfit. So I don't think I need to scrapbook both, and I'm leaning towards this one. I think the colors on this one are a little bit better. So this basically just going to plop that in and write their name and date on it, and that one's probably going to be done. This is another layout that I absolutely adore. My brother and his wife, they kind of have a hippie look, and this whole kind of layout kind of has that kind of feel to me. So it worked out just perfect. I didn't add any specific journaling or anything like that. I just added their name and the date. Okay, so now I have this birthday layout that has room for 1, 2, 3 photos and then some journaling. So in this one here, I only have 2 photos. So I'm not sure if this is going to work. I've got 2 photos, but I got double of them. And the sizes are completely all over the place. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I may have to print these for a third time. But I like the colors of his shirt with the colors of this layout, and they are, about his birthday, so that kind of fits. But we may need to reprint these and make it work. And then the extra photo, or the extra photo spot, like here, I may just find some sort of embellishment or something and add it to this square. Okay, so this was the one where I only had 2 photos, and there was spot for 3. So what I ended up doing was, this photo here is a 4x4, and the mat was for, I think, 3.5 by whatever. So I just kind of matted it, or placed it off the mat, and then this one just went on as is. And then there was a mat behind here, and I just found this tag in a similar color, and this die cut that said happy birthday in blue and that kind of yellow. Added the journaling, and I think that was it. Okay, now this one is going to be another one that I'm going to have to try and make it work. I don't think, yeah, the mats are glued down pretty good. So I have one photo. It's a photo of me from a while ago, but I really like the colors of my dress with this layout. And I think what I may end up doing is maybe somehow spanning this. The other option is to just mat it and use this to journal and or put a title.
Not sure. I don't know that I have a lot to say about it. I will take random selfies just, you know, when I'm feeling like I'm a little bit more photogenic. Just so I can kind of document myself a little better. Because I'm not very good at doing that. Or the other option is I might try and see if I have any other photos of me from around that time period and add it.
Okay, so for this one, I opted to just add the photo and then use this side for the title and some journaling. I pulled a Project Light card that kind of matched to fill in part of that black mat. And then I found another card that said, "Let the good times roll." I added the "not so." So this photo was taken in November 2019. And I just wanted to kind of touch base on, you know, this was a moment in time before we knew what would happen in 2020. I think December 2019, January, somewhere in there was when the first COVID cases popped out. And so I just kind of wanted to, you know, touch base about how at this point in time we had no idea what was coming or how the next few years were going to roll out. Anyways, that's that layout.
Okay, so this is made from scraps from a Felicity Jean, and I had this photo printed of my niece with a horse, and I think that's going to work just perfect. Do I love the blue with the rest of this? It's not the best, but I think the horse colors blend in really well with the rest of this layout, so I think that will work just fine.
This is another one that I didn't end up doing very much to. I pulled some small Felicity Jean gold stickers and just put in the title of Animal Lover, and then added some journaling in here about how much that Taylor loves animals.
Okay, and then the last one is another Felicity Jean kind of scrappy one, and I had this photo of my niece, and it has a lot of this like yellow and orangey color in the background. So I thought that paired really well with this floral piece. This is just a photo that she posted on Instagram that I pilfered. So again, I think I may just end up tucking this in behind here somehow. I'll probably trim that off and then use this to do some journaling or, you know, add a title or something like that.
This was another layout. You notice the theme here where I had mats that didn't fit the size. So in this case, I actually trimmed the photo off. It was a 4x6, tucked it under, and then used this side to anchor the title. These are from Cocoa Vanilla. These Lovely Days. It goes over, and I'm okay with that. I think it's fine. It's still legible. And yeah, I like how this one turned out too. So that was all of the layouts that I started with, and I did a count, and it was 34 layouts, 2 of which were double pages. So I'm pretty happy with that. But 34, come on, Melanie, you can do 35, right? And so I had this other base page floating around. I actually had already made some changes to it. I had this "will travel for work," and I had some journaling in here, and all it needed was a photo. And this was journaled in 2024, and basically the whole point of this is that I'm kind of done with the travel. It's not nearly as exciting as it used to be, and it's kind of the work situation. You know, the work travels killed the joy for me. And so this is a picture of me in the Netherlands. You can tell I'm not looking like super excited. Don't get me wrong, I had a great time and it was a good trip, but I will say that the business travel is very draining, and I'm very fortunate that this year it looks like I'm not going to be doing very much of it, and gives me a chance to recover a little bit. So that, my friends, are my attempt at using up a bunch of base pages. I think I did pretty good, right? Like, that's a pretty good start. I cheated a little bit because most of the photos were already printed. So I'm going to have to do another printing session. You guys all have been encouraging me to just sit down and do it. So I guess I need to find some time and just do it. But no plan, right? So I had base pages and I had a stack of photos. No plan for either, just match them up. And I think they turned out pretty good overall. This is part of my Finish It February series, where basically I'm encouraging you all to tackle something in your craftiness, in your crafty play that you have either just about finished and just need a push to get it done, or maybe you need a push to get the ball rolling again to have some forward movement on your project. I really encourage you to dig out something that perhaps you've been putting off and, just work on it a little bit this month and see if we can make some progress. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Like always, I appreciate all of you. I love all your comments and your encouragement. And until next time, happy crafting.